from insane near misses to dangerous collapses and extreme natural phenomena. I found the most incredible moments ever caught on camera. It was a peaceful summer's day in Ukraine, when all of a sudden, the ground exploded. But this wasn't an explosion. Instead, a massive underground water pipe had burst, causing debris, water, and mud to fly everywhere, raining down on everything below. Locals looked outside their houses, only to find their street had turned into a river. The incident took place in Ukraine's capital, Kyiv. Cars were damaged and windows were broken, but thankfully no one was hurt. It was a hot summer day in 2017. Miners were working as normal at the Nam Ao Dam in Laos. That's when, seemingly out of nowhere, the dam burst, causing a gigantic landslide of mud and water, flooding the mine and destroying nearby crops. Onlookers could do nothing but watch in disbelief as the entire worksite washed away. People rushed to their cars to escape, getting away just in time. But how did this even happen? Despite it being summer, in the days leading up to this, there had been heavy rain, and safety procedures had not been followed, causing the biggest dam collapse in the history of Laos. It was April 22nd, 2019, and at Clark International Airport in Philippines, it was like any other day. That's when, out of nowhere, the entire airport begins to shake. Travelers immediately ran for cover. What they didn't know was a 6.1 magnitude earthquake had just hit, one of the biggest to hit Philippines in years. A calm terminal turns chaotic in seconds. Even the airport security abandoned their post. 2 men narrowly escape before the airport's roof caves in. Surprisingly, flights resumed 2 days after the earthquake, but the airport was not fully fixed until months later. We've all seen explosions before, but this is a building implosion. While an explosion blows things outwards, an implosion crushes things inwards. The building was named the Landmark Tower, found in Fort Worth, Texas. The implosion allowed the old building to be destroyed, without harming any of the other buildings nearby. In October of 2012, residents of Melbourne, Australia saw a real-life miracle, a waterfall floating in the sky. Or at least that's what many people thought. Really, a major water main had burst, creating a massive 250-foot fountain of water, raining down over this quiet suburb, flooding houses and damaging cars. Despite the danger, people stood watching what they thought was a miracle. The water main was fixed later that day. This 820-foot wind turbine is about to explode. It had previously caught fire and was beyond repair, meaning the entire thing had to be brought down. These wind turbines cost around $20 million each, meaning this was one very expensive explosion. It was September 5th, 2022, in Luding County, China. Over 86,000 people were going about their daily lives when, out of nowhere, a 6.6 magnitude earthquake struck, with the entire thing being caught on a woman's dashcam. The drivers slammed on their brakes as the ground shook and trees fell. Locals ran for their lives. The driver considers pulling away before realizing they're safest in the middle of the street, as it means no buildings can collapse on top of them. 21 million people felt the earthquake. The earthquake also triggered several landslides, causing millions of dollars worth of damage. But things could have been much worse, as the earthquake barely missed Chengdu, a city of 21 million people. Brumadinho is a city in Brazil. It's home to over 40,000 people, but it's also home to the Corrego do Feijão mine, one of Brazil's largest iron ore mines. The city and the mine were separated by a massive dam. The dam was not holding back water, but instead toxic mining waste. But on January 25th, 2019, the massive, deadly dam collapsed, bursting while the workers were on their lunch break. This created a massive mudslide of toxic sludge, destroying miles of forest, flowing right into a nearby river, immediately polluting it. Footage shows workers escaping just in time. The dam was owned and operated by a company named Vale, the same company responsible for another massive dam failure which happened 4 years prior. But the 2019 dam failure was even worse, causing irreparable damage and polluting the natural habitat. You might think it's impossible for the ocean to catch fire, but on July 3rd, 2021, that is exactly what happened. A gigantic eye of fire could be seen in Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula, raging for hours, before being extinguished by special firefighting ships. But how could the ocean catch fire? It turned out an underwater oil pipeline had burst. The pipe was badly corroded, causing oil to bubble up to the surface and ignite, causing untold amounts massive environmental damage and harming the ocean's biodiversity. It was April 25, 2015. In Kathmandu, the capital of Nepal, 860,000 people were going about their daily lives until a massive 7.8 magnitude earthquake hit, the worst earthquake the country had experienced in nearly 100 years. It triggered an avalanche on Mount Everest, the tallest mountain in the world. The exact moment the earthquake hit was captured on CCTV. The ground begins to shake, and everyone stands in the middle of the street, not wanting to be hit by any falling buildings. Even when the earthquake stops, everyone remains totally still, as they know an aftershock could come at any moment. Around 600,000 buildings were destroyed, and millions were displaced. Kunming in China is a very busy city, but in June of 2021, it came to a standstill after a herd of elephants descended on the city. 15 elephants had escaped from a nature reserve, walking over 300 miles to the city. Locals were told by police to stay inside, but getting 15 wild elephants under control is no easy task. The elephants blocked roads and even chased people down. During this, one of the elephants had a baby, turning the herd from 15 elephants to 16. After a few days, all of the elephants were herded back to nature, where they remain today. The Auburn Dam was a proposed dam in California. On paper, it sounded great, but the Auburn Dam soon turned into a living nightmare. Construction began in 1968, costing nearly $500 million. But even during construction, things began to go seriously wrong. In 1975, a 5.6 magnitude earthquake hit the area, causing them to rethink how they were building the Auburn Dam. But in 1986, things would go from bad to worse. Unprecedented rainfall quickly filled the dam, causing the dam to break and wash away. Within hours, half of the dam was gone. $500 million washed away just like that. On February 19, 2015, people gathered to watch the Aero India air show. During the show, 3 planes were doing a stunt, when suddenly, things went wrong. The 2 planes scraped against each other in mid-air, causing damage to both planes. One of the plane's propellers were totally destroyed, but amazingly, the talented pilots did not crash, instead safely landing their planes. But it's one of the craziest near misses in aviation history, as the planes were literally inches away from disaster. In 2011, Typhoon Nanmadol affected many parts of Asia. One of the country's worst hit was China, experiencing extreme storms and massive waves. A TV journalist was covering the typhoon. A massive wave hits the shore right behind her, crashing down onto her, nearly pulling her over. Thankfully, she avoided being swept away, but this was a very close call, and a reminder of how much danger reporters face, sometimes risking their lives, all to get the perfect shot. Which of these moments was the most incredible? Leave a comment down below, subscribe if you haven't yet, and check out this video next.